See, Joe was about to return to his parents in London.
Joe, your father's coming for you.
And the timing just couldn't have been worse as far as your father was concerned, because it was only a little while before that he'd discovered that Joe had either seen him or overheard him accepting a £2,000 bribe from a businessman.
And Joe was going to tell.
If he had, your father would have lost everything. A judge taking bribes on that sort of scale, it wouldn't just have meant the end of his career. He'd most certainly have gone to jail.
What about the death threats?
The death threats weren't real because your father made them himself. To make it seem that he and not Joe was the intended victim. The brick through the window, he threw it himself. And the note,
you two will receive justice?
he prepared that himself.
Clarence?
And he even went as far as trying to settle another score by implicating you.
I did recently have a set to.
The only person he mentioned was you.
Peter Buckingham was forcing his attentions on my daughter.
So in the letter,
he used cuttings from the kind of paper he imagined you read, and then he added a few smears of machine oil.
because he'd bought the story that you were a machine operator in a factory producing armaments, which wasn't, of course, the case. And the oil was a detail too many. So I'm afraid it was your father who took the grenade from the Defence Volunteers. It was your father who set up the device in the summer house.
I can't believe this.
And it was your father who, the following morning, faked the telephone call.
He said he'd left something for me in the summer house.
I'll go.
A strange phone call,
Rang off.
a secret parcel, and telling Joe not to go into the summer house was, in fact, the very best way of making sure he did exactly that.
Joe!
So it seemed as if Joe had been killed accidentally, and your father thought his secret
I can't believe
was
this.
safe.
I can't believe my father could have done this.
It's a very great deal for you to take in.
But my father was killed.
Yes.
My mother.
Yes.
How do you know?
Well, because the house was locked. He was killed with his own gun, and only he, you, and your mother knew it was there, and it wasn't you.
Some family.
I knew that something was wrong. That business with the brick through the window, for example.
And neither of you heard anything?
But I was asleep. I suddenly woke up. I was shivering. It was terribly cold. I don't know why. Lawrence had opened the front door. He'd let in the cold air. That's what made me shiver. You see? He had to go outside in order to throw the brick.
Did you know all along?
No, I didn't know. That's when I confronted him. That's when he told me.
All right, I killed him.
Lawrence, no.
He was nothing. A gutter sniper, little vermin, should never have come here in the first place. Always snooping around, poking and prying. He threatened me, for heaven's sake.
What? He was a child.
He was here when Brooks came. He heard the whole thing.
You killed a child?
We killed him, Emily.
No.
Keeping up appearances. That's the reason I needed the money in the first place. Ever since I married into your bloody family.
How dare you bring my
Moved
family
into
into
this
this?
bloody house I've been scrimping and saving. Do you think I was going to let the pack of cards come crumbling down because some East End brat?
I won't be part of this.
Well, you are part of it. You're the reason it happened. What are you doing?
You will receive justice!
What are you doing with that? Put it down.
But I didn't kill him for that reason. I killed him because it was the right thing to do.